When I was asked if I want to do this talk today, my first reaction was, why me? I'm not ready for that. Are you sure you mean me? I just had the feeling that I wasn't ready for that. But they probably saw Kosima Kovar, an impact founder. They probably saw speaker of the EU Commission. They saw Forbes 30 under 30. And some other things. But what I see when I look in the mirror is a little girl in a red dress and white polka dots and a matching hat. Something more like this. When I was in school, my English teacher told me that I should stop studying English because I will never get it. That's pretty mean, right? But what this experience taught me is I love to prove people wrong. So now I'm leading an international company with an international team speaking English all the time. But still, sometimes I have this feeling in my heart that when I speak English, that my heart just stops. Because I have the feeling that I'm not supposed to be able to do that. We all know this feeling, right? This feeling of not being an expert in a specific field, even though we have a degree in exactly that. Or the feeling of not being ready to do something, like apply for my dream job or starting a company, even though we have everything that it takes. This feeling of being an imposter. I'm not alone, right? Who else knows this feeling? Okay, like everybody. And then the normal reaction is to learn new things, try to gain more knowledge, so that one day we don't have this feeling anymore. So that one day we know everything necessary. But I have to take this illusion from you that this feeling will ever go away. Please take your left hand and your right index finger and paint a teeny tiny circle in the middle of your palm. That's the knowledge that you had in kindergarten. Like you knew what your favorite color is, or your favorite food, or that one day you want to become a pilot, or a princess, or a prince, or in my case, a bus driver. The edges, the border, shows the possibility to connect to new knowledge. Like, for example, how to become a bus driver, or how to cook my favorite food. If we now take the hand again and paint a bigger circle, almost as big as our palm, we can see our knowledge that we have today, after going to school, after working for a couple of years. And we see again this border, these edges. We can see that even though the knowledge got bigger, also the possibility to connect to new things, like to gain new knowledge, becomes way bigger. What I want to show you here is the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. When I started my first company, I had at first no idea what I was doing. And I remember this one situation where I was invited to my first panel, that was my first stage experience. And the moderator used words that I've never even heard before. So after the panel, I went off stage and I went to the toilet and Googled all these words in case somebody wants to talk to me about this afterwards. What really helped me is to understand that I am not alone. 75% of women executives have this feeling of imposter syndrome in the workplace. But studies found out that actually it occurs most often with what we call in society high achievers. So if you have the feeling that you have no idea what you're doing at all, you're probably just a high achiever. So we know 75% of women already know this feeling, but only 46% of men know this feeling. What I want to show you here is that when you are a woman at work, imposter syndrome is probably part of your journey, and that's totally okay. The reason why we feel like imposters is because we don't see people in jobs and positions that look like us, that share our story. And sometimes it feels like the stage is not built for us, or we are not supposed to stand in the spotlight. But honestly, it feels pretty good to be seen and heard. The world makes us think that we don't have what it takes to be successful, or more like that we don't look like success. This is what success looks like in Germany. And we all know that there are more men named Thomas in the boards than women in the boards. And when I asked an AI tool to generate successful women in Austria, this is what I got. When I asked around what I should wear today, people told me, wear something where you stand out, but not something where you offend somebody. Maybe wear something where you don't look bitchy or bossy, but don't look like a slob. Look feminine, but not girly. Maybe wear a suit. No, a suit is not good because then you look too old. But it's better than too young because nobody wants to listen to a young woman. Maybe wear something where everybody likes you, but don't be everybody's darling. So how did I do? Works? I have to say, sometimes I have this feeling it must be really nice to wear a blue suit to every occasion. Okay, but let's talk about how to overcome imposter syndrome. So first, acknowledge it. Check. Then be part of a network where people share your story and deal with the same stuff. Then separate between what you know that you can do and what other people think that you're capable of. Make male and female allies at work, and get yourself a mentor, a coach, a sponsor, somebody that you can always call. I'm telling you, I have more mentors on speed dial than I have family members. And I initially tried to find them because I found myself in situations where I was not taken seriously, where I was actively not listened to, and where people actively didn't look me in my eyes. Probably because they still saw this little girl with the red dress and the white polka dots. But I'm an entrepreneur, and this brings me to my next point. Invest in yourself, bet on yourself. I'm happy to share step by step how I did it in the past. Feel free to copy it. So first, get a coach that helps you to find your worth, that helps you to set your own goals. Actually, when I think about it now, it was in 2018 when I put together my first goals, and so about 6 years ago, and it was that I want to be on stage talking about a topic that is really important to me, and people listen. So thank you so much for being here today. And then I focused on personal branding. So I thought about what are my values and what are the topics that I want to talk about. So I talk a lot about holistic sustainability, gender equality, and AI. Then I got myself a rhetoric coach, somebody that helps me to find the right words in the right situation. Then I got myself a speaking coach. She tried to help me to bring across my point with using my voice. But actually, we spent most of the time trying to get rid of my Viennese slang. That took hours and hours. Hilft's nix, schaut's nix. And then I got myself a body language coach, somebody that helped me to bring across my point with not just using my voice. And then, for me, really important, and I think important for everybody, is financial independence. Think about what does it mean to you? How can you create it? And how can you increase it over time? So you can see I invested a lot of time, but also a lot of money in myself, in getting better. Not better in what I'm doing, but in how I'm showing it. And I'm totally aware that not everybody has the luxury to do that, to invest that kind of money and that kind of time into yourself. And this is exactly why I started my company that is focusing on professional growth of women in the workplace using the latest technology, and is provided by the employer to all the women so they can learn when, where, and how they want, and that for free. Over time, I learned hope is not a strategy. So if you want to go your way, don't wait. If the door you want to go through is not open yet, then kick it open. Make yourself visible, seen as an expert, and listen to when you have something to say. Know your worth, own your worth, and show your worth. I'm Kosima Kovar, and I want you to be seen and heard in a sea of blue suits. Thank you.